Not long into my marriage, my wonderful wife, who you all know, DENAE, she noticed something about me that I had never really been aware of up until that point. Something about how I would pack for trips. You see, I would wait until the absolute last minute to pack. I would put it off until I was absolutely scrambling, and then when I did it, I was just in a horrible mood, not fun to be around. And over 6 or 7 years, since then even, it's gotten worse to the point where she legitimately worries many times if I would miss flights, and just didn't want to be around me during those times. Packing was always just a horrible experience, but since then, I've learned that I have an illness. I have PAD, packing anxiety disorder. Google it, it's totally a thing. Somebody with a blog said it was, so it is, and I have it. But in 2015 or so, DENAE and I got back deep into photography, and the problem got even worse. On top of all the normal decisions I had to make when packing, which devices, which clothes, how many pairs of underwear, which deodorant, do I choose the belongings that will fit the bag, or do I pick the bag and then try to fit the belongings? On top of all of these debilitating choices, I now had the most difficult choice of all. Which lens should I pack? My friends, you that are photographers or video creators, I know that you faced this similar question, whether you suffer from PAD like me, or if you just always second guess your decisions on lens or lenses that you choose to take with you on a trip or a job. I'm here to help. You see, I've faced this question down. I've struggled with it, I've battled it. It's kept me up at night like a snoring roommate and brought me up out of bed early like I drank too much water the night before, but no more. I now know how to answer the question, which lens do I pack? And today I'm going to share it with you. My friends, I give you Andrew's 2-step method for better lens selection whilst traveling, or, whatever. Step 1, if the stakes are low, keep it light. If the stakes are high, take more than you might. Are you headed out for a bit of family fun and recreation, maybe some frisbee golf or a barbecue? Maybe it's not so critical that you are prepared for every photographic contingency. On the other hand, is it a paid job? Has one of your friends or family asked you to help photograph their special day? Or is it your daughter's piano recital? Is it an activity that you'll never get another chance to capture if you mess it up by having the wrong gear? If you can answer that question, then things do get simpler. If the stakes are low, keep it light. Plan for fewer lenses than your instincts are wanting you to bring along, and go for lighter lenses and bodies. Here's why. If the stakes are low, if photography is not the main thing, I promise you, the gear that's in the bag will stay in the bag. It will most likely just end up being more inconvenient dead weight for the duration of your trip or outing than anything that's really going to help you. On the other hand, if what you have is small and light and not too hard to keep on your person, you'll be more likely to remember that it's there and you'll use it. Again, if photography is not the main thing, it's just not going to happen unless you have that physical reminder on your person, and all that other stuff in your bag, it likely will just not get used. For me, when I travel for fun, for work, or to recreate with a family, I usually focus on one camera and one lens as my carry, the thing I have on me at all times. And then I pack one other lens, maybe, to complement that. This is just in case, if there's just that one epic shot that I can't get with the wide angle lens that I do have on me, that shot that's just so good I'm willing to dive to the depths of my carry-on bag to get to another lens. It's nice to know that I can get it. But I'll be honest with you, when the stakes are low, most of the time I do not use that backup lens, hardly ever. But the reason I do bring it is just the peace of mind, knowing it's there. To me, it's worth that extra bit of weight for that reason alone. You'll have to decide what's right for you, but if the stakes are low, in general, go light. However, if the stakes are high, take more than you might. If you're gonna be shooting a wedding or an event, it would be irresponsible for you to not be able to have all the lens coverage you need, just in case. You should be able to go ultra wide and all the way to super tele. That doesn't mean you'll always have to have that range accounted for with you on your person. You don't need a massive backpack with all of the lenses. Usually a couple lenses on your person at any event will suffice for most of the shoot, but you should have access to the full range in some way. Now, I do event photography as much as I possibly can, which these days isn't isn't much, of course. But in the early days of doing event work, I learned the hard way that my propensity for going lean and light got me into trouble. I've learned that even if it's in the car, in a second bag, or hidden away behind a registration desk or in a closet at the event, having those extra lenses and gear there can save your butt and give you peace of mind. Okay, so that's all well and good, but I know we still haven't tackled that main question of, yeah, maybe we do pack light, but which one? Which lens? And I'm gonna answer that now with the second principle, but before we do, we need to take a second and thank our awesome sponsor.
And that sponsor is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey, with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics like illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and more. One of the reasons we love Skillshare is that the lessons are designed to be impactful and quickly digestible within an hour or so, like this class taught by one of my personal favorite photographers, Craig Whitehead. As a longtime follower of Craig's street photography under his account 6 Street Under, I was pleased to see a class from him diving deep into his entire street photography process and workflow. It was a highly enjoyable class, which I wholeheartedly recommend. So if you're interested in impactful lessons like this one for less than $10 a month, for a limited time, use the link in my description to get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership.
This is where the second principle comes into play. Pick it and stick with it. Using one lens will lead to more and better photos than using many lenses will. And at first, to many of you, that will seem like a contradiction, me saying that. But stick with me here and I'll explain. Your brain is a powerful thing. Having to process gobs of sensory inputs each moment of your aliveness is a tough job. Your brain is excellent at compartmentalizing and depending on your subconscious to serve up those most vital sensory inputs to your conscious level. Things like your hand being on fire or seeing someone famous, while allowing the mundane and the minute prattle of our existence just sort of roll off of you. But when it comes to photography, especially when the stakes are low, awareness, it's tricky. We have a hard time concentrating on photography all the time, especially if you're new to it. You may have a desire to photograph interesting slices of life, but the struggle to remember to do it, it's hard. You might catch yourself missing things, you might feel guilty or berate yourself later for missing things. But having a setup like this, where you've got everything covered at multiple focal lengths and everything, all the range is accounted for, that doesn't help. Again, I'm talking about when the stakes are low though. When the stakes are high, yeah, of course, like superhuman heightened awareness because you have a job to do, so you need this sort of coverage. But when the stakes are low, trying to be aware of and seeing everything, every angle, every focal length, every possible shot, it's too much. Most of the time you'll be second guessing which lens you have on your camera and which one is buried in your bag. Just when you clamp on that super zoom to capture that bird that just took off and you missed because you were too slow, the street performer had a cute interaction with your kid only a few yards away from you, and now you have the wrong lens to capture that. But if you pick one lens, your default lens, or a temporary favorite lens, and you focus on seeing the world through that focal length, photographing the strengths of that one lens, your awareness will increase. You will see so many more shots that you simply would never have seen when you play to the strengths of that one lens. Take, for instance, my favorite lens here, the lens that I choose to put on my camera most of the time when the stakes are low. This is the 16mm 1.4. I like seeing the world wide. I like to get in close and get a lot of wide fall off, and this lens delivers results that I'm thrilled with again and again. To be fair, it's an extreme focal length, and there's plenty of times where I see something interesting happening in the distance and I just have to shrug my shoulders and accept that I'm not going to capture that interesting moment. But that's okay. I'm at peace with that now because I've come far enough along to understand that at the end of that trip or that outing, I'm still going to come away with more keepers in the can by picking and sticking to one focal length than if I had tried to cover absolutely everything, shuffling between multiple lenses. To be clear, I'm not saying don't bring a zoom lens. These days, I often find myself traveling about with the LX100 II. I've been really loving this flexible little compact zoom point and shoot. Also, don't forget the awesome little strap. Shameless plug, we are selling these, many colors. Check them out in the description below. Where was I? Surprisingly, this is becoming one of my favorite cameras, but I still treat this camera and its lens as if it's a prime. I usually just stay wide. It's nice to know that I can go tele in those special occasions and special circumstances where I do notice something super awesome in the distance, but in general, I treat it like a prime, like I usually do with most zooms. So my advice to you is to pick it and stick with it. Have a default lens, even if you're not sure what your favorite is yet or not. That's okay. You won't develop your favorite until you've had a lot more experience shooting with every sort of focal length out there. For now, it's sort of arbitrary. Which type of shots do you like more? Do you like travel photography of tightly zoomed in shots of people, places, and things? Do you enjoy the sense of isolation or surgical precision with separation that you can only get with a tele lens? Or maybe you love the compression that you can get with those tele lenses where objects in the background appear much larger vis-a-vis the subjects in front of them. Or perhaps you prefer the larger context, getting a real sense of place and more of the landscapes. Maybe you like environmental portraiture and more classic street shots. Or maybe you're an in-betweener, sort of a 50mm full frame, 35mm APS-C shooter who prefers a shoot-around lens where you can dab a foot in both worlds, where maybe what you see with your natural eye is what you'd also like to be able to capture, to where when you put that camera up to your eye, you aren't forced to back up or to move forward because the field of view is not substantially different from what you're used to seeing with your natural view. Whatever you decide though, pick it and stick with it, and then apply your faculties, train your awareness to focus on seeing shots at that focal length or that focal range. Let go of the others. Enjoy the scenes, the sights, but don't worry about capturing everything, especially those that your main lens selection precludes you from getting in a reasonable way. In those rare occurrences where there's plenty of time and the shot is epic, maybe that's when you reach into your bag for that backup lens that covers a wilder focal length. But I really think you'll find that you won't do that very often. You'll start to be very content with the shots you see in your chosen focal length. While at first it may seem restrictive, you'll start to realize that it's actually freeing, like the edges of a painter's canvas. Creating constraints are freeing, they are not limiting. And even though before I stated that when the stakes are high, you want more immediate access to a wider range of lenses, you'll still have a favorite. At events, for me, I shoot with the 56-1.2 almost all the time because it gets me the shots that my clients really like. It balances reach and low light access well, and it's become the way that I see most things in an event situation. But I always keep with me a wider lens nearby to quickly be able to switch out, or on a second camera body, and an ultra wide and a super tele in the bag within easy walking distance. But if you've heard all that and you're still stuck on which lens should be the one that you pick and stick with, which should be that sort of default lens, I would start a rotation. Put a sticky note where you keep your lenses and mark which one is your main pick for any given outing or trip. Next trip, go to your next lens, rotate through them, and give them all your full attention when you're out with each respectively. You'll soon learn which you prefer and which of them helps you bring home more keepers because it matches better what your awareness of beauty that surrounds you sees. For me personally, this is two-step little methodology for lens selection has made packing just a little bit easier and probably extended my life for the amount of peace of mind that it's brought me. Next, I'll be working on a better system of deciding how many pairs of underwear to bring on a trip. Comment below if you'd like me to do a video on that one. In the meantime though, remember to do good with your camera, and we'll talk to you again real soon.